Okay, so here I am, not at a gig, but in the car, dropping off Al Lubel, because we did a show last night in Sleaford, and we're at Manchester bus station, just in case you want to know where we are. So thanks for joining me in the car, Al.
Thank you. And I'm also a little worried that, well, not worried, but you know, there's no makeup lady.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of bad that I'm not, you know. But then you don't make a makeup on either, so we're an equal.
Yeah,
situation.
we're pretty equal.
But I was in TV. You really need makeup, right? And this is not TV. This is a web thing, right?
This is the web thing. So yeah,
but still,
blush wouldn't help.
It's not good though to not have makeup, right? Isn't there a function of makeup?
You look great. What I'll do, I'll edit out the blemishes.
Okay.
Post production. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be quite cool actually, just having like a makeup lady every so often, just popping up and doing a bit of blush.
Right.
Oh, good stuff. So, did you enjoy the show last night, Sleaford?
I did. They were a nice audience. I did enjoy it. I lost my train tickets, as you know, coming back, so I'm going to take the bus. And I've noticed whenever I think a couple days ago, I thought to myself, you know, you haven't lost any train tickets yet. That's amazing. You've been here for 2 months. And then I lose them. So I think there is something about noticing, whenever I notice something bad hasn't happened, then the bad thing happens. I wonder if it's my unconscious mind telling me, I'll show you.
Yeah.
You know, I'll show you how to, you're going to lose some
somewhere. You think, I haven't lost a train ticket. In your subconscious, you put that on a to-do list of disasters.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've got you are like a soothsayer, but you can only see really annoying bad things that will happen to you.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, in the near future. Yeah.
Right, I can only see the bad.
Oh, wow. So, before I get into the questions, very quick one. Al, you've been here in this country since February, is it?
Right, since February 1st.
February 1st. You're going back in September. How are you finding the UK comedy scene as opposed to the American?
It's very similar. I think there's a lot of similarities. There are good crowds and bad crowds.
Yeah.
And but there seems to be there's more work here.
Yeah.
Than in America. And it's a smaller country, so the things are closer.
Yeah.
The clubs are closer to you. It's easier to get to clubs. It's harder when you lose the ticket.
Although you've got less to travel.
Right, that's true.
Can you imagine losing your ticket from New York down to Seattle?
Right. Oh, that would truly be nice.
Yeah, you try and get the bus then.
Right.
And crowds, do you see a difference in the kind of American and British sort of crowd psyche?
No, I noticed a different accent.
Do we laugh differently?
Right, you don't really laugh, but you guys have an English accent. And it's a coincidence because you're all from England. But no, I don't. In general, I don't notice the. Maybe you guys are a little less boisterous than American audiences. Yeah. But I think on the other hand, you listen better. So I prefer that. I don't like the big boisterous. I think you guys do it here too. In America, they do it. I'm like, are you all ready for the show? Woo! Woo! I hate woo. What is woo? I mean, when people laugh, they don't go woo. They go ha ha ha. So why do you have to go woo before the show starts? Woo has nothing to do with the show. There are no woos during a show. So why do you have to woo before it? Yeah, and
nobody's done anything to prove a woo by that, because it's always the comic comes up. Are you up for some comedy? Everyone goes, whoa! I said, well, I don't know. Let's see how we get on.
Yeah, how are they? Why so confident?
Come on.
Yeah, comedians are insecure to begin with, and we have to face this confidence.
You've now introduced a woo into the proceedings. Yeah, and it does. I know what you mean. It's somehow acceptable within that forum, something that wouldn't be natural in any other forum. You know, you want lunch? Wow, yeah.
You ready for a murder trial? Woo!
Come on, the jury like that. Woo, come on, take him down. So this is the 4 questions. Best moment of comedy.
Interesting. You chose 4 questions. There's some book I bought it, but I never read it because I'm lazy. But the four. You ever heard about that? It's like the 4 something or other. It's like this great.
Is it the 4 Quartets by T.S. Eliot?
No, not the quartet. 4. Oh, I can't. It's on the tip of my. Quartet.
Riders of the Apocalypse.
Right.
We could keep going.
But it doesn't matter. But interesting that you chose 4. But I'll let you move on because I got a bus to catch.
Yeah. And what was the what was the principle behind it?
It's that kind of,
It's a good
Eckhart
number.
Tolle kind of. I don't know why they chose 4. That's why I'm interested in why you chose 4.
I just thought I don't know. I just chose 4 questions, whereas I think there was something about like 3 is meant to be like the magic number,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
it works quite well. But
That's it. Yeah, 3 for a comedy, like 1,
Yeah,
2, 3.
yeah.
But you chose 4 because this is not really stand-up, right?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. It's the thing after stand-up.
it's the
So that's why 4.
life beyond stand-up. Yeah. So the first question: best moment, best memory of comedy.
Okay, first of all, your question is kind of like a leading question. You studied law. You're assuming in that question that I had a best moment. So, and that on
That was my
cross-exam,
premise. Yeah.
on cross-exam they ask, leading questions are allowed on cross-examination. No, only on direct examination are leading questions allowed.
Yeah.
Cross, you're not allowed to ask a leading question, I think,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
On
yeah.
direct, you're allowed, and this is direct.
This
You're
is direct.
you're
I'm not.
cross-examinating. And this is not even a court of law, so what I'm saying is irrelevant. But I don't know if I had a. Your second question is my best moment.
Yeah, or your best memory of comedy. It could be like a certain time in your career, or that moment. Like you say, for instance. I mean, again, this is very
Right.
leading, but say you did like the Letterman show, your
Right.
first time. It
Well,
might
I
have been
guess
that.
maybe my best memory that hit me when you said it. I didn't have it planned, because I was going to say to you, I don't necessarily have a best memory, but since this thought entered my brain
Yeah.
when you said it, I'll use it. Which was I got on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He was a host for like 30
Yeah,
years.
sheesh.
He was just about to retire. He had announced it already, the retirement, and so luckily I got on 6 months before he retired,
Brilliant.
and so it was a good feeling to have gotten to do that. So that was a good feeling, like walking on stage. At the same time, though, it's terrifying. Walking out there, I was scared.
Yeah.
You have to do. You feel as you have to do well. You're terrified. What if I have a nervous breakdown during my act? What if I stop talking? What if I stop remembering my act? So while it's a great moment, at the very same time, it's a terrifying, horrific moment. So I don't know if I could say it's a great moment. It might have been my worst moment.
Well, it's interesting. You can have. I think that's one of the things about human psychology. You can have 2 very varying emotions to this exact same situation.
Yeah, exactly.
This can be awesome, and also I mean, giving birth to me was incredible, but also absolutely horrific.
I'm
at the
sure
same
you
time.
as a guy to actually give birth.
Yeah,
must be incredibly painful. How does that happen?
yeah. Well, I just I'll
But at the same
pioneer.
time, you're thinking, no one's ever done this. No guys ever, so it's fantastic and horrific.
Original. So I'm not going to allow that one as your worst moment as well. What would you say is the worst moment of comedy? Worst gig, worst moment, worst thing?
Gee, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't give thought to what these answers would be. So let's see, my worst moment, whatever hits me, is nothing's hitting me. Well, here's a horrible moment.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing comedy for many years, like well over 1 year.
Yeah.
And see, I find that funny to say that, by the way. Oh, there's a police officer.
I've just got a police officer. Hello, fella.
This is, I think, my worst moment in comedy. Being on a web show or a thing.
When
Police
that was
officers
it was a
checking us out.
traffic enforcement officer. I think he's going to give us a ticket
Really?
unless I.
Oh my. I
He,
don't know.
no, he's okay.
Oh, is that okay?
He might be lost.
Yeah.
I mean, I reckon this is a comedy first. He's going to do the guy in front of us. It's a
Oh,
comedy first
Oh.
to whilst an interview going with a top pro international comedian going on, we get a ticket. I think that would be.
Right.
I might try and get one every interview.
By the way, I know that's a good thing. I noticed this like only a week ago. I've been
Yeah.
here 2.5 months, but it's cool that your cars don't have to park in the same direction
Yes. Yeah.
on a side of a street. You can park facing or back, which makes total sense. Why the same direction crap we have in America?
Well, I didn't. Yeah. So I didn't know that. I mean, there was a few things like if you go in on a one-way street, you have to face the right direction
Right,
because
that
then they'll
makes-
know
because it's
you've got.
one
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Totally. But yeah, things like having roundabouts and stuff just seemed if I was going to introduce anything to America would be like just our love of roundabouts where you just keep the traffic flowing. That whole where you have to stop at a stop sign. It just seems so incredibly.
Is that the purpose? See, roundabouts irritate me just because I get nervous going in circles or
Okay.
But I don't. But I see the concept is so we're avoiding a stop sign or we're avoiding a light.
Yeah, so that instead of getting to a crossroads and you have to stop and look both ways, you keep the traffic flowing. Whereas in America, like it's curb crawling, isn't it? Is it where you if you don't stop at a stop
You
sign.
have to stop.
Yeah, you have to make a
So
physical
how does
stop.
it work here? You don't have to stop. And so what about the car coming in the other direction?
Well, if the car's coming to your right, then you have to stop and let them through. But if there's nobody there, you just keep going, so the traffic can keep flowing, and then Yeah.
That's a great thing. I didn't
great.
realize. So you guys don't have stop signs?
A few,
But not that many.
Not that many.
That's great.
It's great. It's great.
That's excellent. Yeah. Why didn't we, America, we have to do that?
Yeah. I mean, this is it. Hopefully, like someone in authority is going to see this video podcast and go, man.
Right.
They'll say the same thing. So
the worst moment.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just tell you, I don't know this is the worst, but a few weeks ago I was performing somewhere and listening to the host talk to the audience. And I guess he was doing it in kind of a cliche way. Like, I can't remember the things, but stuff I've heard like 25 years ago, that kind of concept.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, should I still be doing comedy? I mean, like, I hated hearing it. Like, why I got to move to some other field, you know?
Yeah.
Like, within the comedy world, maybe, or entertainment world, but I really shouldn't be listening to this anymore. You know, there's a limit to listening to that. You know, so that was a painful moment.
It was like a sort of groundhog moment day where you're just like, am I really doing? Yeah.
You know, like, I don't do that anymore, so I feel okay about myself. But to still be part of a show and to listen, and it's fine for that. Compare MC Mayville and been doing comedy 5 years, and so he should be doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm too old to be sitting in a back room listening to that. You know, and that was painful.
That is that's quite an existential angst, you know, right? Yeah. You weren't even on stage. You were feeling the pain for someone else. Wow.
Not for him. I wasn't feeling pain for him. I was feeling pain due to him.
Due to him, yeah.
So he's at the level where he should maybe be doing that. I mean, that kind of style. You know.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have to be hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm too old. I've been doing it too long.
Brilliant. We'll all the compares in the UK will take note to that. Al's here, quick, up your game.
No, right. There's a style. I don't know. Maybe there's a style. I guess maybe it's my own narcissism. It's like, if you're going to interact with the crowd, do it my way. It could be that way. But then if he did, I'd be like, oh my God, he's stealing from me.
He's
and
got
I
my
can't
essence.
be me when I come out. So there's pain no matter what.
Yeah. I'm thinking next time I work with you, I'm going to go, my name is Tony Vino. Tony Vino. Do some kind of thing like that. And so, what is that leads nicely on in terms of your motivation for comedy. Clearly, it's not to enjoy the kind of things in a nostalgic way that repeat. So what's that keeps you going? You're traveling around. You're here in the UK. You're traveling all over the world.
Well, it's you know, I guess, you know, I'm afraid. I like comedy, but I'm afraid to change. I'm one of these people. I do things and I get stuck, and I'm afraid to grow, and I'm afraid to move on. And so I've written a screenplay, which I'd like to do, but then you have to get money, and you have to get, but that takes effort and a whole other kind of effort. And or I should write a situation comedy, but that would take change of direction and thought and effort. And I'm not good with effort, and you know, I'm not good with change. That's painful, but it's also painful sitting in the back room listening to the compared saying things that I've heard before. And by the way, I hope I'm not overthinking. I'm not talking about you last night.
Thank you.
I would never listen to you.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to you.
I appreciate that.
But my point is that either way, I'm in for pain. So I guess I'm going to have to grow and change because what was your question again?
I think you've answered it in a very I basically said what I've done this video podcast quite a few times, and what was the motivation for doing comedy? And most people kind of go, well, you know, I want to do this as for my children, for God, or I just love laughter. Yours is essentially fear and inertia.
Yeah, I didn't want to be an adult. I was a lawyer. I graduated law school. I tried a little, but I didn't want to be a lawyer. It's adult. It's a businessman thing. And I noticed my mother's funny. Humor was the only good thing I think in my family. The only positive, it was fear and yelling and anger were the bad things, but humor was a good thing. So I think I'm naturally attracted to humor. But but stand-up comedy, I'm good at it. I don't know how much better I want to really get at it. there are other ways of living, of doing art, of creating. Like Woody Allen went into movies and things. I'd like to try to do that. But again, that takes effort and discipline and thought. So my motivation for doing comedy is to stay a child and not grow. But there's a negative to that. Sitting in the back room listening to the compare and remembering 28 years ago you heard a compare say these kind of things.
Yeah.
And 28 years later with a bad hip, you're sitting in a bad room, in a back room with a bad hip, you're old, you're falling apart, listening to the same thing. It's very painful. My question is, I don't know what's more painful, creating a show, a sitcom, a thing, sitting in that back room, hating yourself. I don't know what's more painful.
So last question for you, Al, and I'm loving the cathartic rants that we're getting to here. Finally, motivation for life. Is it the same thing? The sheer avoidance of pain.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I wouldn't even. I don't know if it's motivation. Yeah, I guess that's kind of. I'm trying to change a little. I want to get into singing. I've been like singing some serious songs. Like I walk the streets, singing "What Kind of Fool Am I?" You know that song. What kind of fool am I?
It's catchy, that.
Yeah, I'd like to be a singer. Actually, I think that was my mistake. It wasn't jokes I wanted. It was. I want to be a singer.
Behind every comedian is a frustrated musician, of course.
I think so. And I can play the piano a little.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to, I don't know, I'd like to write a song. That's kind of a motivation. I do want to do the movie. What was your question again? My motivation for what?
For life, that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Nothing gets me out of bed.
That was actually true. You got up at 1:45 today in the afternoon. Stayed at my house last night. But so that question is
I'm always
flawed.
questioning myself, do I have a motivation for living? I don't really have that much. I mean, I do it because my heart keeps beating. But I think it's my autonomic nervous system that has a motivation for living. Conscious-wise, I don't have it.
Yeah.
I can take it or leave it, and I do it, but I'm not proactive enough to commit suicide. I mean, I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'd screw it up. I'm afraid I'd go be in a coma, and I'd have just, I'd be paralyzed. I know I'd mess it up.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck. I envy those people who have motivation for living. I don't got it.
That's incredible. So again, fear and inertia, they're keeping you going. That and presume you like coffee as well.
Well, it hurts my stomach, and I'm very anxious, so it gets me too much. I do like it, but it makes me so anxious.
Wow, yeah,
so I'm doing the green tea thing, but even that makes me a little too anxious.
Oh my God.
I haven't found the proper, and and I'm not on any psychological drugs now. I used to be on some, but I decided to get off of it.
Yeah.
But I wonder, there's something I don't have I respect watching you with your children. The energy you can bring to things, the focus. I just don't have that. I don't have a life.
That is coffee.
I don't have the coffee. Yeah, but the coffee gets me too anxious in it.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't. Yeah, I'm missing something. Something's wrong with me.
And on that bombshell, Al, it's been a genuine pleasure. You're such a wonderful, wonderful man. God bless you.
Thank you.